So, the story about money. How many of you have been telling yourselves stories about money? Cynthia says, not me, of course, right? Yeah, and so every day we're telling ourselves stories, right? Every day we're telling ourselves things. So we're either telling ourselves the story of, I'm not good enough, I don't have enough money, I can't afford it, I'm in the kitchen. Oh, I love it, right? Every day we've got stories. We've got stories that we don't have enough time. We've got stories that we don't know how to build a business. We've got stories that life is too hard. We have stories that other people can have money, but we can't. Okay, so we have all of these stories that we've created. Yeah, Alina says, story with money, me? Never. Just in the last hundreds of years. And so, my friends, have you ever been in a relationship with someone who's created a story about you? Okay, so I'll just hold it. So your story with money, it really truly is like stopping you, right? And so if you've had a relationship with anyone who's created a story about you, right? So it happens all the time. Have you ever had, you liked the Frozen monologue. So you have this like, let's say you have an interaction with somebody and you won't hear from them for a very long time. And then later they say, yeah, well, blah, 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 blah. And they create this story about, basically they invent something you made up. So I'll give an example. A long time ago, many, many years ago, I had a friend. And something happened where I was basically in survival mode. And I hadn't reached out to this friend in a really long time. Well, we were planning on doing something. I had to change plans with this friend. And when I changed plans with the friend, I was doing it because I was in survival mode, right? She had made this giant assumption about what I thought about her, what I didn't think about her, how I was inconveniencing her. And it had to do with my son. It had to do with a lot of things that I had to choose different. And so she literally like disappeared and cut me out of her life. And I just went, okay, right? And a couple years later, she reached out and we ended up talking, and she's like, oh my God, I had no idea. Why didn't you tell me? And I was like, well, because I didn't really feel like talking about what I was going through, right? It didn't feel relevant. And so why do I say that? Is so many times we make up stories. We invent stories. So an invention of a story could be, well, because I was born in Europe, or because I was born in India, or because I was, have different parents, or whatever it is, oh, money's going to be hard for me. Or because I wasn't born into a wealthy family, I'm going to have to work hard for my money all the time. Okay? Can any of you notice a story that you're inventing with money? None of you are doing that, are you? Inventing stories with money? No. Why would you do that? Okay, so it's crazy talk, but what we do is we invent these stories. So I'm in a live class in Paris, right? We're on day 2 of the 3 days. So I'm here in Paris for 4.5 days of classes. And it's been so amazing. I fly to Sydney, Australia from Europe next. So I'm super excited about it. But what we've been uncovering is every situation in our life that we've decided we can't change, we're inventing a story about it. Okay? So how many stories about money are you inventing to keep you from choice? So does money have a point of view about you? Does money want you to work hard for it? right? And some of you, I think, are putting, yeah, never. Danielle says never. Sonia says never. Serby says me, right? At least. And so how many of you are inventing these stories about you and what people think about you? How many of you are inventing stories about what you think about you? And so I grew up in a family, and I don't know how you grew up, but I grew up in a family where I watched my dad not work, and I watched my mom work really, really, really hard. And then I watched like the struggle to pretend, no one can relate to this, the struggle to pretend that everything was fine. I really want a pock pod. I'm not going to pock pod, but I won't. So, but why I'm saying this is, what if money was not interested in your story? What if money was interested in you no matter how you showed up? Okay? So I'm curious if any of you can identify and actually want to type in the chat one of the stories you've been telling yourself about money. Right? And while you're doing that, it's like all that's required is get the energy of making up a story about money, and then get the energy of choosing to have money. Ooh, that's a good one, Nikki. You're the only one that has that. So Nikki's story is that I'm no good with money. Ooh, Cynthia says that I waste money and therefore ... Ooh, Sonia says I don't know how to make money. Ooh, Nikki says that money's hard. Alina says I grew up in a family that always had enough, but not really too much. Right. And so do you guys notice? Ooh, Cynthia says always have problems. Right? And so it's so fascinating because, like, where did these stories come from? Right? You, an infinite being, born as a baby with infinite possibilities. Were you born with money's hard? Right? Like I have a 5-year-old. Ooh. So Carmel says money is made round to go around. That's an interesting one. I might need to know what you mean by that. So what do you mean by that, Carmel? Ooh. Ooh, Sonia, that's a good one. Money was a compensation after my father had beaten me up. Ooh. Licky says do you have to have money to make money? Ooh, you guys are good. Those are really good stories, aren't they? All right, let me see if I can stabilize my phone and maybe we'll do a little different angle. There we go. How's that? Okay, cool. So it's so interesting because those are all stories, right? And yet how much is that story running everything you think about money? Well, we all know the simple saying of your thoughts create your reality. Your point of view creates your reality. What you think about creates your reality. So a lot of us, when we're asked about our reality or what we desire to create for our future, we tend to talk about, this earring is touching the microphone. We tend to talk about, we give the right answer, right? So what would you like to create as your future? And you go, I would like lots of money. And you're like, great. You can just choose it. And you're like, no, I can't. I've got all these stories, right? Cool. So Lena says, how can we get rid of these stories from coming back? Well, this is a great question, my friend. So how many of you have the point of view that in order to have money, you have to get rid of your stories? So how many people on the planet have the same stories about money that you have? And if you're an aware and psychic being, are you also picking up on everybody's story that's similar to yours? Because, right, like attracts like. What you think about, what you think about, you create. So if you are thinking that money's hard to come by, guess what? You're creating money's hard to come by. And so if you're asked to look at the future you want to create with money and you're like, I'll take $1 million. And yet in your story and in your programming, money's hard to come by, and you go, wait, but I have to let go of the story, money's hard to come by, in order to even begin to think about having $1 million. Right? Yes. Cynthia says, I've never thought about that, right? And then she says, wow. So this is the crazy lie, you guys, is check this out. How many of you are expecting the story to be gone in order to create the money you'd like to have? Okay, I'm going to take off my earrings so that they don't bump against the microphone. How many of you are expecting the story to be gone? So truth. If there are 7 billion people on the planet and like attracts like, how many people on the planet have the same thought that you do? A lot, a little, or a megaton. Okay? And if you're psychic or you're intuitive or you're somewhat aware or your body's somewhat psychic, intuitive, or somewhat aware, then you're going to be aware of at least 5% of the people or 10% of the people that have the same thought as you do. So here goes your psychic antenna where you're like, okay, I need to fix that money's hard to come by in order to have the millions of dollars I want. Okay, I know this is crazy, right? So I need to fix, right, my thought that money's hard to come by. Well, okay, so all of a sudden you start to work on this thought, money's hard to come by. And you're like, okay, I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna do everything I can to change it. I'm gonna, use the access tools. I'm gonna use meditation, whatever modality you use in your repertoire. I'm gonna work really hard to change my psychic antenna of money's hard to come by. Okay? And so you go to work. And you go to work to change it. Right. Wendy says I was picking up on them at the supermarket today. Exactly. So all of a sudden you change it, and guess what? It comes back. Why? Because you're psychic. Because you're intuitive. Because you're aware of everybody that has the same thought. And you go, oh, the thought's back. Okay, let me pot it. Let me meditate on it. Let me go to work on it, right? And let me try and change it. And then, oh, I changed it. And then you wake up in the next morning and guess what? The thing's back. Okay? So check this out, my friends. If it keeps coming back and you keep changing it, and it keeps coming back and you keep changing it, and it keeps coming back and you keep changing it, right? And it keeps coming back, truth, is that thought yours? Okay? No. Okay? You cannot change what isn't yours. You can't stop a thought that isn't yours. So how many of you are trying to change the planet's story about money and you think it's your story? Ooh, right, exactly. Wendy says the only thing that changed it was asking, what am I aware of? And even, who does this belong to? Right, Alina says, no. Cynthia says, OMG, there's hope. Okay. Yes, you cannot change what isn't yours. Really, truly, truly, okay? And so, my friends, your stories about money, they feel really real Because every time you tell your story, you create that as your reality. Dominique says, OMG, right? I'm telling you guys, my friends, if you get this, it will start to change your reality with money. So what else is truly possible? Okay? Wow. Yeah. So what if, right, whatever you think, oops, so my buttons are not working. I can't see all of your comments. So whatever it is that you have decided is your story about money, what if it's not your story, and what if it's just been the thing you've been choosing that you didn't know you could choose different? And so most of us are told that in order to have the millions, or to have the hundreds of thousands, or to have the ease, or to have the abundance, we need to change the psychic, we need to change the story. You just need to know the story will probably always be there. The monkey mind will always be there. The not enough will always be there. Sort of insane, right? The not enough will always be there. And yet we keep trying to expect that in order to create our future, we have to get rid of the not enough, or I don't have enough, or I'm not good enough, or I'm not pretty enough, or I don't know enough, or I'm not smart enough. No, those thoughts, my friends, unfortunately will always be there. So if you know they'll always be there, what choices do you have that are different? You can go, I don't need to pay attention to the story. So here's an example. You have two people in front of you, okay? One person is like, oh my God, do you want to go play? And we'll go for a walk and we'll go on an adventure, and I don't know where we're going to go, but we're just going to follow the energy and say yes to the things that light up our body. Okay? There's one invitation in front of you. And you're like, okay, I like that invitation. That sounds like fun. And the other invitation is like, okay, so before we can have any fun, before we can play, before we can dream, before we can imagine, we need to like look at all of your problems and where they came from. I know it sounds really silly hearing it from that perspective, but you guys know what we do almost every day? Every day the universe is like, hi, do you want to play? I've got a wealth of information, an abundance of money, a plethora of energy, tons of people that want to play with you. Want to play? And you're like, I'm sorry, universe, I'm a little busy because I've decided that I need to look at all of my shit. I need to talk about all of my problems. I need to regurgitate the story of the pain of my childhood, right? I need to regurgitate the story of, my bankruptcy, or my marriages, or how I lost money everywhere I went, or how I always make more, like whatever your story is. Totally insane, my friends. So most of you have an invitation every day from the universe to play, to be abundant, to go and be magic. You also at the same time have an invitation to be serious about your problems, to not have any fun until you solve your problems, okay? Until you get to the bottom of things, until you, whatever that is. So everything that does not allow you to know the space and the possibilities, right? The stories can be funny, but not if you're living the story. Stories after the fact are hilarious. If you're living the story and you're waking up in the morning and you don't have choice and you've decided money's the reason you're not choosing, well, guess what? If money's the reason you're not choosing, you're lying to you. Okay? I want to say that again. If money's the reason you're not choosing, you're lying to you. Why do I say that? If you can wake up in the morning and you have a bed to sleep on and a roof over your head, and you can go to the grocery store and you can buy money, and you can go to the store and you can buy shoes, and you can go to the store and you can buy a TV or an iPhone or whatever, right? And you've decided money's the reason you're not choosing. My friends, it ain't about the money, because you got the money to go buy food. You got the money to go buy jewelry or shoes or, pay for your kids' school. You have the money. It's just a matter of what are you spending that money on, right? Right. Dominique says, till last year I was buying the stories about money. My body is relaxing listening to you. Awesome, Cynthia. And so this is what we do every day. We tell ourselves a lie. We lie to ourselves about money. We say, but I can't afford it. Oh, yes, you can. You just choose not to use that money to invest in a future in this 10 seconds. Now, am I saying shame on you for not choosing? No. What I'm doing is I'm showing you that when you say to yourself you don't have choice because you're using money as an excuse, that's not the reason. You're just not choosing. So don't choose it, and it's okay. You don't have to choose. You just have to recognize the lies you're telling yourself, okay? That's what the point of this is. And so it's really interesting. I've been a Being You facilitator since July, which is really exciting. And Dr. Dane here, who is the co-founder of Access and such a brilliant, kind, amazing, beautiful, intense gift he is, it's this energy of being you. And most of you are trying to be not you when it comes to money. Most of you are trying to get it right from other people's points of views or perspective instead of asking, if you were being all of you without the story, without the lies, without the justification, without the reasoning, right? If you were truly being all of you, what's your reality with money? Is money easy? Well, there goes the story that money's hard, right? And what in the class today or last night, there was a woman. She's French, right, from Paris, and she's like, I have to work really hard for my money. And so there's a song, right, from Flashdance. She works hard for her money, and I really do not sing, but I'm singing for you guys, right? So hard for her money, and she starts laughing. So then we changed the song to she works easy for her money. And her whole body was like, you can do that? You can work easy for money? No. Cool. Tracy says, so cool. I'm catching myself out more often. When you catch the lies and the story, you can change the choice. Okay? I'm going to say that again. When you catch the lies in the story, you can change the choice. You don't have to change the lie or the story, because a lie is a lie. Why would you bother spending time on a lie? When you catch the lie and you catch the story, you can change the choice. Okay? Right. Cynthia says, wow, that don't be you because you are so wrong. So my friends, what if being you with money was the way to create money for your future? So Dane loves all of you humanoids, and so do I. And so he knows that the humanoids are the future, and we have choice. And what hurts us the most is when we lie about not having money. So what if you could create money for all the classes, for all the adventures, for all the travel, for all the choices you'd like to be choosing, right? What if the money was available? So let's ask money. Money, are you available for every choice I'd like to choose? I love it. Thank you, Nikki. You're so awesome. So, truth, if you ask money, hey, money, are you available for every choice I'd like to choose? What do you guys get? Do you get a yes or a no? Is money available for you? Right. Serby says, I get a yes. Exactement. I'm speaking French these days. Right. Of course it says Wendy. Hello, beautiful Beza. Right. Gustav says solo. So did I. Oh, that felt light. Okay, Carmel says yes. Right. Hell yes. Okay, cool. Tracy says yes. Right. Okay. Kirsty says yes. Okay. So, who are you and what are you? How do I ask this question? So who do you need to be in order to have the money? Well, money says you need to be you. Okay? So when you're buying the story or the lie with money, are you being you? Awesome. Gustav said, meant to say, allô, bonjour, bonsoir, s'il vous plaît. I'm turning French, my friends. It's quite fun. Right. So the only thing that's keeping you from having money is by telling yourselves the lies and stories about money. If you were to be you, how much money would come play with you? Right, Nikki says working, ease, and fun for money. So, my friends, this really is about being you. I know this sounds crazy, and it sounds so simple, but every time you judge you're not being you. Every time you tell yourself a lie, you're not being you. Every time you tell yourself a story that stops you from choice, you're not being you. Okay? So, what if you could be you and have all the money for all the adventures you'd like to create in your life? Sounds simple, doesn't it? Right? But how many of you recognize that you have way too many stories going on about money and you are lying to you? Right? You are lying to you. And then you wake up and you wonder why you're depressed, or why you're frustrated, or why you're intense, or why it feels like the world's sitting on your chest. Maureen says, keep going, right? Wow, wow, wow. So, good morning, Renita. So this is your invitation, my friends. It's your invitation. If this conversation contributed to you and you want more of the conversation, I'm doing a 3-part series on Zoom, on video, where you can get personal facilitation with yours truly, all about being you with money. And we're going to use the tools from the Being You book by Dr. Dane here, right? We're going to run clearings and use the tools of Access Consciousness. We are going to maybe expose the lies, but more than expose the lies, we're going to show you that a lie is just a lie, and a lie is not relevant to choice. The only reason a lie is relevant to choice is because you've decided you don't have choice. Right? Which is a lie. We always, 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 always have choice. So if you're willing to create the fuel for the adventure of your living, you are invited to join me. I've got a lot happening in the next month. So those of you that are down under, if you don't come to the live classes in Australia, oh my goodness, what are you waiting for? Nikki says, love the Being You book. Right. If any of you do not own the Being You book, oh my goodness, you're in for a treat. It's an amazing, amazing book. So yeah, all these classes. And I think on Friday, so that class starts on Tuesday. Today is Sunday. And we also have, oh my goodness, I can't talk. Right? Looking out for those sneaky lies now. Exactly. Exactly, my friends. How can you start to ask for money to show up? What choice can you make to act on choosing more money, right? And what can you choose for you that's the energy of abundance, right? Because the infinite being, here's the thing, and this, I'll say this, the infinite being, if you're asking for more money from your infinite being, does your infinite being need money? not. If you're asking for more money from your infinite body, does your body need money? Yes. So if you ask for your money from your infinite being is so ginormous. How much money is in the energy of your infinite being? A lot, a little, or a megaton? Probably a megaton, but it has nowhere to go because your being's infinite. So you want to start to give money a bank account to come play with, so your body, right? You want to give money a place to land, your body, right? Money is for your body. It's not for your infinite being. Your infinite being's like, yeah, we have money all the time. Money's money. Money's choice. Money's possibility. Aha. Sonia says, go to the live no judgment diet. She's in Paris with me right now. This is a must. Only if it's light for you. No bullshit. And lots of, but I can't read the rest. But you guys can. Thank you, Sonia. So the next one on Friday, we've got what to do with your business ideas. And so many people say to me, Catherine, I've got all these ideas, but how do I put them in action? We're going to do a 90-minute one-off call, right? It's $50 for your business ideas. And this is if you have the idea, yeah, you have all of the resources available to bring that idea to fruition. So my friends, hopefully you're getting the energy that everything is available to you. Truly, 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 everything is available to you. So all you got to do is stop buying the lies. I know it sounds simple, and you know what? It's about every day. I woke up this morning and tense and cranky and a little frustrated. Well, why? Because I'm changing my life, because my life keeps getting greater, so I have to find something to complain about. Well, guess what? Was it mine? Nope. So I had to get out of bed, and I had to make the choice to put on my tennis shoes, which I didn't want to do, put on my running pants, which I didn't want to do, right? And go for a run and move my body. And when I was moving my body, I asked, how many choices do I actually have? Do I want to choose the lie or the story? And you know what? Most of us have to invent the story. Or do I just want to choose to play with the universe and possibilities? My friends, you have to exercise the muscle. All of us are programmed to focus on the crap, right? Well, maybe some of you are very rare and don't go there. But what if it's time to start a new paradigm, a new program, or not a program, but just a new choice, and to start playing with choice in every way? So grateful you're here. If this conversation contributed to you and you know someone in your world that could use this Facebook Live, please share it. Please comment. Please, spread it around. And if you want to join us for the money series, 3 calls. Quick and easy. Yeah, baby. So no share button. I think there's a share button. Is there not a share button? Pretty sure there's a share button. If not, there should be a share button when it goes live. So I think Facebook is doing something new, or whatever it is. So my friends, you're amazing. Live from Paris. I adore you. Please start to recognize that you always have choice, right? You can choose to buy the story and buy the lies, or you can choose to choose something different. So from my body to your body, from Paris to wherever in the world you are, make it a magical, amazing day. And how many choices can you have playing with today? So we'll see you next time. Thanks for being here. Bye for now. You're so welcome, my friends. Bye.